Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at Mega Excadrill EX paired with Metang. If you didn't think it was going to be paired with Metang, yeah, it's just the best version, to be honest. So of course, as per usual, in the description below there's going to be the usual links. There'll be the deck list, which is also available to copy in the description below. There's the games that we'll play, and of course the outro and what I think of the deck. So, today we're going to be playing the new Mega Excadrill EX, which has two attacks, both of which are actually pretty good, in my opinion. We have, for 2 Metal Energy, we have Undermine, which lets us discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck for 90 damage. Pretty good into the evolving archetypes. Then for 3 Metal, we have Maximum Drilling, which is 200 plus. If this Pokemon has at least 2 extra energy attached, in addition to this attack's cost, this attack does 130 more damage. So already, you can kind of see why the damage is actually really good. 330 is a really good number to be hitting, but obviously, you know, the best Dragapult variant that is probably going to be played when people stop playing, you know, the new decks and stuff, will be Dragapult Blaziken, so you'll probably hard lose to that, but still, let's not get bogged down with that. Of course, Mega Excadrill isn't the only attacker in this deck. We obviously have the Metagross, because, you know, Metagross is goated. I've chucked in Dialga as an extra single prize attacker. Dialga's really good. It has the attack Chrono Burst for 80 plus. You can then shuffle the 3 Metal Energy you use into the deck and do 80 more damage. So it's just a cheap single prize attacker that, you know, keeps the energy in the deck. And most importantly, it hits, you know, Lillie for weakness, it hits Mega Froslass for weakness. You know, it's got a couple of relevant weaknesses to deal with. And of course, it's a single prize attacker, so it just makes complete sense in my opinion. Of course, we are playing double Genesect, and I've also elected to play a Mawile for the late game. Mawile's really cheap in the late game for just 2 Metal Energy, and if we've taken 5 prize cards, we're doing 400 damage with it, so felt like a no-brainer to be brutally honest. Obviously, there are other things that we are playing throughout the deck list. Obviously, we are playing the new Beldum. It doesn't particularly matter which Beldum you actually play, as long as, you know, you play the Psychic, or don't play the Psychic ones, because the Psychic ones, I think, have 60 HP, if I remember rightly. But honestly, I just wanted to play the new Beldum. So, well, the relatively new Beldum, I should say. But yeah, looking forward to playing this archetype because, well, it's actually quite consistent, surprisingly. So let's go to the deck list and let's have a proper look. And welcome to the deck list. This has been quite a fun little variant to test, actually. You know, there's a lot of things going for it. Obviously, there are a few things that I think could be improved about it. But, you know, I think it just has a lot more, benefit to it than what we might think. Because Excadrill, whilst it does, I'm really getting the hiccups today. Whilst Excadrill does take a lot of resources to obviously invest into its attack, we can play double Recycle without an issue, because obviously that lets us use other attackers. Obviously, I've elected to play Dialga, but there is another attacker that I was considering, which I'm just going to get up on the screen here for you, which is this little fella right here, the Twilight Masquerade Cramorant. Now, what you can actually do with this is you can play a Black Belt's Training in this deck if you're running into a lot of Dragapult Blaziken. I know what you're thinking, why the hell would we play Black Belt's Training? Obviously, we have Kieran in there already. What that means is Spit Shot with a Black Belt played would be able to take out a Blaziken with weakness if it's in the active spot. So, Cramorant plus, you know, swapping out a Kieran for a Black Belt might not be a bad idea. But anyway, let's get into the actual deck itself. So, of course, we have 4 Beldum, 4 Metang, 1 Metagross, 3 Drilbur, 2 Mega Excadrill, 2 Genesect, 1 Fez, 1 Mega Mawile, and of course 1 Dialga. Then we have 4 Lillies, 3 Petrel, 3 Boss, 2 Kieran, 1 Hilda, this is mainly for the magnetic energy, which we'll talk about in a second, 4 Transceiver, 2 Energy Recycler, 2 Night Stretcher, 1 Buddy-Buddy Poffin, 1 Ultra Ball, 1 Precious Trolley as our ace spec, 1 Special Red Card, 1 Air Balloon, 14 Metal Energy, and 1 Magnetic Metal Energy. This basically is a free retreat for any metal Pokemon that is equipped with this card. It's actually a quite nice card to play. Hilda's just here so we can find it. You could probably just, you know, I think you need to play a Stadium in here, to be brutally honest, so you could probably cut the Hilda for a Chorus of Tenacity, to be brutally honest. You could probably cut a Boss as well. There's not really a Stadium that I would definitively say play, because there's not really anything that comes to mind. There is Full Metal Lab, if you wanted to go that route, but unfortunately Full Metal Lab would not stop Mega Excadrill being knocked out by a Blaziken EX, because Blaziken EX does 200 damage, minus 30, times 2 is 340, so that wouldn't really benefit you. But there's not really a definitive stadium that I would say run. The only other one I can think of that I would personally want to play in this list is a Team Rocket's Factory, personally. That's literally the only one I can think of, because that would give you an extra bit of draw power, because obviously you can play the Petrels, you can obviously, you know, draw 2 cards, you know, that sort of thing. At that point, though, you'd probably want to go up to 4 Petrel, just to make sure you can consistently draw with the Team Rocket's Factory. But yeah, other than that, really, there's not much I would really change about this list. I'm only playing the Hilda so I can find the Magnetic Energy. Obviously, Chorus's Tenacity would be a better choice, but I don't really know what to cut in terms of, you know, cards to cut. Obviously, Hilda would be one of them, but, you know, for a Chorus of Tenacity or anything like that. But in the grand scheme of things, I do think a Chorus of Tenacity plus maybe a couple of Team Rocket's Factory would be pretty good in this deck for a little bit of extra consistency, but so far I've not really needed it. So, let's go to the games and see how we do. And welcome to our first game. We're paired against someone in Greninja rank, so they're a bit behind us, but I'm looking forward to playing this deck. I've been seeing a lot of it on the ladder, and it seems pretty good, so, you know, it must be good, you know. I've seen it in online tournaments as well, so that's another thing to consider. I have seen it in online tournaments, and it does seem pretty goated, so, you know. Let's see what we start with. The Genesect start is actually not a bad idea. Genesect is fine to start with, because Genesect can attack as well. Oh no! Oh no, that's a Whale Lord. Oh boy. I think they're playing LEF's version, because I saw Dark Energy there. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. Well, this just got a whole lot messier then, because we aren't going to be able to kill a Whale Lord very easily. And, well, they won't be able to kill us very easily, but they can go for Genesect for 2 prize cards. And obviously Mawile is a 3-prizer with 270 HP, so yeah, I don't feel confident in this one, Chief, that's for sure. I mean, we did make them go first at the very least, so that is something, because they're going to burn a turn to get a Whelmer set up with energy. Obviously not this first turn, because obviously they can't play Missy's Vitality on their first turn. But, you know, I think we might be okay-ish. Like, as long as we can take at least, you know, 5 prize cards, we should be fine, so we can just finish the game with Mawile. But obviously we don't really have anything that can, you know, benefit from the... We don't really have anything that can benefit, so that's just something to bear in mind. So let's get ourselves some Beldums down. We'll play the Buddy Poffin. I'll grab myself... Do I want to grab 2 Drilbur? I don't think so. But then again, what's in the deck? That'll make my decision. Yeah, I'll grab 2. Okay, that's fine. We'll prize check once with Petrel. So we'll Petrel. We'll grab ourselves... We have prize to trolley, so that's fine then. In that case, let's have a look at the deck, just to make sure. So we've got all the Metangs in there, so that's fine. We've got the other Genesect in there. I might actually just grab an Ultra Ball. Because I can Ultra Ball away double Transceiver next turn. And then we'll Metallic Signal, get some evolutions in hand. Because if he hand disrupts us, we are just thinning the deck like crazy. So, I'm happy with that. But yeah, this is probably going to be a tough matchup, purely because we don't hit them. Like, they do take a while to set up, but then, you know, they can keep up in the chain. There's the Whale Lord itself. And another Whale Lord. Do they have Misty's Vitality? Is my question. If they don't, that's good, because that means we can get some early tempo in. And they don't. Good. I can attack with Genesect then. There's a boss. Ooh, okay. Well, let's Genesect first. So we'll grab you and you. I kind of want to set up another Metang, I'll be honest. I think I might do that. So let's go Ultra Ball away these 2. Grab ourselves a Beldum. Because I can safely attack with Genesect here, assuming we get 4 energy. Or 3. Well, there's the 3. Excellent. I could also just hit into the Whale Lord. is another option, and then I can retreat into Excadrill and finish it off. But I would need 5 energy off of that. But to be fair, they're not going to shift that, are they? It's very unlikely they're going to shift it. I'm not going to play the second Metang. I'm just going to Protect Charge for 150. The only real threat is Munkidori, because obviously Munkidori can start fixing the damage. But I'm not particularly worried about that. I'd rather get some damage in on the Wailord, because we are going to be struggling in this matchup for dealing with Wailords. We can't pop double Kieran in a turn, so we only max out at 360, not 380. So Wailord is just insanely bulky. There's the Dark Energy, so they can start moving some damage off with the Wailord. That's a problem, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal. For now, anyway. It's later down the line is when it starts to get a little bit concerning. Because obviously you can start Adrenabrain into the Drilburs. He's going to put it on a Metang, that's fine. And he's just going to pass. Okay, well I could go for it. I could go for the Mega Excadrill, so let's see what we get off the Metal Maker. Nothing from that one. So then we'll Metal Maker again. We'll get 2. We could start milling as well. That would be pretty good. We could start milling. We could actually. We can start milling, because that takes it to 210, so minus 30 from the heal of Monkey. That would bring it to 180. So yeah, we can actually start milling here. I think that's fine then. So we'll go Petrel. Grab ourselves. Doesn't really matter. I don't really want to grab a Recycler here. Do I have another Petrel in deck? I do, so I can thin the deck a bit more with the Transceiver. See? You can do stuff here. And then I will just undermine. I'm just going to start milling, to be brutally honest. Because even with the Monkey heal, we only need 1 more energy on this Excadrill to knock this Wailord out. So, you know, we are playing into that quite well at the very least. I'm not too bothered about the Monkey heal because, like I say, the only real threat right now that will, you know, be affected by it is the Metang. But I could just set up another Metang. I could have Genesected to fin a Beldum, but then I'll do that next turn because I'm probably going to Metal Maker again. And we could just go from there, really. I'm not particularly worried in this instance. That's a Lillie, so they're not going to get anything in that regard. They are going to get 1 energy on the Wailord, however, but I'm not too concerned about that. We should be fine here, to be brutally honest. Like, yeah, I could have Genesected for another Metang, but I don't need to. Especially, like, right now, anyway. I think we've thinned the deck enough so that we should mostly see what we need. So it's not a big deal in that regard. But obviously, like I say, he's already healed the 30. So we could just take out this Wailord with no problem at all. So I'm pretty happy with that. Because then I can Petrel for a boss and start preparing to boss that other Wailord if he can't get anything established. So we should be fine here, to be really honest. There's another Monkey. If he double Monkeys, that's a problem, but we should be okay. He does have double Monkey. Okay, we would need 5 energy on the Excadrill then, but that shouldn't be too difficult. That shouldn't be too difficult. So now we need to knock out this Wailord this turn. We have to knock it out. We need 2 energy off the Metangs. Because if we leave it alive any longer, we are going to struggle. And they're going to serve him Beach. Oh no. Okay, that's bad. That's really bad. I mean, on the plus side, we can get a free swing in, but they are going to double Adrenabrain and possibly go for the Metang and stuff like that. They're going to set on my Excadrill to be knocked out by a Wailord, so we need to be very careful now. There's Air Balloon. I'm going to put it on the Genesect, just so we have a free pivot. I will then Metallic Signal. Grab ourselves these 2 out the deck. We're probably not going to use Metagross in this game, but, you know, it is an option, I guess. So then we'll go Night Stretcher, grab back a Metal Energy. I know it's a Grass Energy for some reason. Because the caffeine is not kicking in yet. So then, yeah, we'll just go for the Excadrill. They're going to heal 60, so they're going to go down to 270. So we can't knock them out with a mill attack. Unless we pop a Kieran, which we could. We only have 1 Kieran, but that's okay. I'm going to threaten the Kieran. I think now I just swing for 330. Yes, they can move 60 off, but then, like I said, I can go Kieran, do the extra damage, and mill 2 cards whilst knocking out their Whale Lord. So, you know, I'm happy with that. It's just the Excadrill now is under extreme threat from a Whale Lord, but like I say, they would have to then burn a turn to use Misty Vitality, which lets me have a free swing on the Whale Lord. So unless they don't find Misty's Vitality this turn, we should be fine. We should be absolutely fine. The only problem now, of course, is they are going to keep Adrenabraining every single turn, which is a big problem, but hopefully we can take advantage. We need to start taking prize cards next turn, though. He's not healing the one in the active, so we don't need to use the Kieran then. He's going to start putting damage on that Drilbur, so I need to evolve that this turn, but that's fine, I can do that. So if he heals another 60, that's 350, so I actually need to save this Kieran then. Unless he's got Triple Monkey in the deck, I don't know, but hopefully he doesn't. But yeah, we should be fine here. And there's Misty's Vitality, that is completely fine. That is completely fine. How many energies he's got in the deck, though? He's got enough, that's fine. So yeah, we can now mill, take out this Whale Lord, and hopefully we should be fine. Because then we can red card next turn. So we need to start setting up this this Excadrill. So we can definitely do that. We need 5 energy on it, which shouldn't be too much of a problem, but we do need to obviously get ready to knock out our Whale Lord. So we'll just triple Metal Maker. Thin the deck as much as possible. That's enough for what we need. And then I will just undermine, mill 2 cards, whilst taking out the Whale Lord. That's good. That's the single prize Whale Lord, so that's good for me to get rid of. There's a boss as well. Obviously, he is going to come up with this Whale Lord, but, like I said, even with a 60 heal, we do knock it out with a Kieran. And we can red card, so that's good. Please do not tell me you have another Dark Energy. Pokegear. Lillie. Oh no, does he have Triple Monkey? I really hope you don't, because that's going to make my job a hell of a lot harder. There's a Whelmer. I've just got to hope he doesn't find another Dark Energy, because otherwise we're going to be here. This is going to be a slugfest, to put it politely. We won't win if he has Triple Monkey. We can win if he has 2 monkeys. If he has 3, that's a problem. Quad Monkey? This definitely isn't LDF's list, I think he only played 3. Okay, well, like I say, as long as he whiffs on the Dark Energy, which he did, we should be fine. I really wish I played a Tool Scrapper in this list, but it's fine. The only issue now, though, is if he can find another Whale Lord EX, he can actually win this game. So that's my only issue. So hold on, 3... No, I don't do enough with Metagross, otherwise I'd have done it with Metagross. I mean, we could just red card and hope for the best. That's probably our best move here. But obviously we don't play away to heal, so, you know. Here's falling down. Does fall asleep, but it's fine. I will make sure that it never wakes up, that's for sure. So let's promote the Mega Excadrill. It doesn't matter, because I do have the knockout here. We do 360 with Kieran. So that's fine. So we'll go red card. We can then bench another Drilbur. Pop the Kieran. Do an extra 30. And maximum drilling 360. Take out the Whale Lord. I've just got to hope now he doesn't find another Whale Lord. Because if he does, that is game. If he doesn't, he should be fine. There's Trolley. Judging by that immediate promotion, I would assume he has it. Because that was a very quick promotion. Crispin, okay. So we can get another Water Energy established. So that's a concern. He's got to have Whale Lord in hand. There's no way. Has he whiffed? He's whiffed. Oh no, he was just BMing being a knob. Okay, well, that's game then. Unfortunate. I have no idea why you needed the BM that much. You know, you didn't need to attach for turn, you didn't need to emote, but, well, that's just what some people are like. Whale Lord's tough, what can I say? It's 380 HP. There's not much I can really do about it. And, you know, with Monkey Dories in it, it's quite hard to deal with. Let's go to Game 2. And welcome back to Game 2. That was an unfortunate loss there to Whale Lord EX. Not much I can really do, unfortunately, because that thing is so big and so bulky. You know, even with a Kieran, I'm still 20 off, you know, it's insanely bulky. And obviously they have Monkey Dories to just move damage around. Even with the milling of Undermine, we didn't really get to do much. Oh, that is a horrible going second hand. Oh. I was going to say, I'm hoping my opponent mulligans, but no. Oh, that's bad. I mean, it's going to be a headbutt angle, it looks like. Yeah, Whale Lord's just too tough, because like we can't effectively deal with it very well. You know, even with 5 energy, we are still 50 short. Then if we play Kieran / Black Belt, we'd be either 20 or 10 off, so it's very tricky to deal with. Very tricky to deal with. And well, his name's Psy District, and he's playing Psy Duck, so I'm already impressed. I'm not impressed with the fact that it's Alakazam, however. That I don't like. And well, with this starting hand, it might just be a Game 3, but we will see what the top deck is. A Petrel or Transceiver would be beautiful. And he's already grabbing an Alakazam, which means he has Candy in hand. That's fine. Alright, give us a top deck worth a miracle. No. You know what? Before I do that, we will headbutt for 10 and assert dominance. And then we will concede. I know he has Candy in hand. Like, you wouldn't grab Alakazam off a Pokepad if you didn't. But yeah, unfortunate. We can't really do anything there. Yeah, let's go to Game 3. And welcome back to Game 3, and I'm really hoping you didn't eat my internet, that's for sure. Yeah, we just bricked. We just, you know, at least I got to headbutt. That's, you know, a certain dominance, but yeah, I can't do anything when I have no bench, so, you know. The fact that he had Rare Candy, you know, yes, he would have needed to have spent a turn attachment to retreat it, but you can just go attach Psychic to the Psyduck, retreat into Dunsparce, go into the Dunsparce, Wondrous Patch to Alakazam, and you have game that way. So I'm not going to waste my time or anyone else's. That, however, is a pretty good starting hand. I will definitely take that. Oh no! Oh no, this is Salazzle X. Oh no. Okay, well we're going to need that magnetic energy then. Right, well let's play the trolley. We'll grab you, you, and you. Let's have a look at the deck. Do I have it? I have Hilda, and I do have magnetic. Oh no. I should have probably played the Petrel, but it's okay. I'll Metallic Signal. Grab these two. And Passaruni. I've just got to hope he doesn't get another one of these down. The Dragonair is... well, Dratini is interesting. I don't know why I said Dragonair, but... this is not a very good matchup, that's for sure. Because this matchup is just shocking, because, well, he's a fire type. It's poison and burn, I think. I need to double check, because I have got a Salazzle list ready. Yeah, it is what I thought it was. The Dragonair, or the Dratini Dragonite line is interesting. I don't know why it's in there. I guess it's for free pivot and stuff. But yeah, there's not really a huge amount I'd want here, because I don't really want to evolve Excadrill now. I could attack with Genesect, but like Genesect is just going to die. So I would rather mill with Excadrill, I think, is what I want to do. So let's go for a Metal Maker. Okay, that's good. I'll put the 3 on, because I'm going to regardless. They haven't got a turn attachment down, which is good. But obviously they can play Crispin and the like. I'll Metallic Signal. I should have done this first, but it's okay. So I'll grab these. It's not a big deal that I didn't do it, because, well, can't really do much else. I will Petrel for Hilda. And I will Undermine. Start milling cards. Fire Energy and the Ultra Ball is good. That's what I like to see going. Because Hilda lets us grab the magnetic energy, and obviously we have Kieran as well to retreat, so that's fine. But yeah, this should be fine. If we can keep up with the mill game, we should be fine. That's Salazzle. If he doesn't have a turn attachment for it, I kind of wish I'd have grabbed a boss, not Hilda, but it's okay. There's Candy into Dragonite. So what's your last card in hand then? Well, we won't know now. He's also got a Master Ball Dunsparce, which is interesting. He's going to go for the Lillie. I mean, we should be okay, because, like, yes, we can't KO Dragonite outright, but we should be okay. We should be okay. Like, yeah, he's got item lockers, but I don't really care. Badoo's the least of my worries. The fact that I'm milling you should be your concern. But anyway, typical how we top deck that. I needed that. I didn't want that, but it's okay. Right. So, we're going to put this here, just so we have it. Because then I can keep the energy on the Excadrill. It's not a big deal. I can thin with Genesect. I can thin the other Excadrill. Obviously, I can't play the Poffin, but I don't really want to anyway. Do I want to just play this Hilda? Get rid of it? Because I kind of regret grabbing it now. I should have grabbed a boss, but it's okay. I'll play it just to grab a metal. And I'll just undermine. I'll just mill more cards. Nice. Rare Candy plus a Fire Energy. That's what I like to see. The less Fire Energy he has on this Salazzle, the better. Because this is going to do 200 damage. And then it's going to do a burn and a poison. So it'll do effectively 230. Okay, there's a Salazzle. That's fine. He can obviously retreat it into the other Salazzle, but he'll probably just give me the Dunsparce. Which is fine. But it means I can go for a single prize attack with a Metagross, which I would prefer. If he gives me this Dunsparce, I can KO this with Bounce Back, so I don't need to invest many resources. So that's good. And there's a Lillie. That's fine. Like I said, as long as I prevent them from like going 3-3 in this matchup, we should be okay. And obviously we have this magnetic energy to retreat it for free, so, you know, we can still do something in that regard. But yeah, this matchup is kind of tricky, because obviously the burn and the poison is annoying, but obviously it hits us for fire weakness, which is the worst part. So, you know, we have a lot that can go wrong here, but obviously he can just retreat into something that he wants me to KO. He's going to give me the Dragonite. Okay, I can't deal with that. The burn heals, which is nice, but there's not a lot I can do here. If I top deck boss, I'm bossing this. We don't top deck boss, that's fine. I could attack with Metagross here. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Because I could just use Bounce Back for 1 energy. And we can go for... In fact, no, I could just mill, but then he's just going to come back in. Because it has infinite switch. Yeah, I think that's fine. Because then I can go Metang. And I can start setting up the other Excadrill. So that's fine. I was just checking my PC then, because I've noticed a bit of lag, but it's not my PC getting hot, so that's at least something. Yeah, I will just bounce back for 60. Because I don't really have anything else to really do here. If he has boss for the Excadrill, that sucks, but it's just something I have to live with. Me putting the 60 on this Dragonite. Oh, really? He's playing Wallies? Oh, no. Okay, well, this is where I wish I had Black Belt in this list, then. He's going to die nails for 200, take out the Metagross. He's going to go back into the Dragonite. That's cheeky. I like this. This is cheeky. Okay, well, in that case, then... Surely I hit with Drilbur, right? Because I can do 50 damage to this. He won't play a Wallies for a 50, I know that much. That could probably be my line here. I can Dig Claws for 50. Let me play this first. Because I don't need it. Don't want to bench another... Do I want to bench another Beldum? Not particularly. I'm just going to dig claws for 50. It's unlikely he'll play another Wally's Compassion. But, you know, he might, and that's the problem. Runaway draw. The dig claws for 50 isn't here for, like, you know, I'm not doing it because I can, because it's funny. I'm doing it because it lines up my my Excadrill. I'm just going to hope he doesn't have another way to get this Dragonite healed. Because he seems to go into Dragonite quite a lot, I've noticed. So that's something to consider. I just need him to whiff a Wally's and for him to go into this Dragonite. Because he seems to like going into Dragonite. If he goes into Dragonite and doesn't heal it this turn... Oh no, he's got the boss. Oh no. That's bad. Because he could have game for Genesect then. Oh, that's bad. Of all the decks to run into, frickin' Salazzle EX. Please go into Dragonite. I don't think he will. He should see the line, but he probably will go into, like, Dratini or Dragonair or Dunsparce. I mean, if he gives me this, I just need boss for game on one of these two, but... Not really impressed with this right now, I will say. He's going to go into the Dragonite. Okay. That's fine. That is fine. The problem is I need to find hand disruption. I need to find my special red card. Speak of the devil. Okay, we might be in with a shot here then. Assuming it wasn't prize, because I didn't prize check. And I didn't. Shite. Okay. Well, in that case, then, I'm just going to play a Recycler. Really wish I'd have prize checked, because otherwise I'd have done this play a little bit differently, but it's okay. Right, so we need to evolve this. We're going to attach here. We just need one off the Metang. And there it is. And then maximum drilling 330. Take out the Dragonite. He didn't see the play, but obviously he just needs boss for Genesect, and then that's game. There's not much I can do about it. So I can't get Genesect off the board. It's not an evolution Pokemon. Genesect is a mythical, unfortunately. If he has boss for the Genesect, he wins here. Which would be very unfortunate. But we do have boss, so if he doesn't have... a boss here... we should be fine, but I would assume he plays a Meowth. Because this sort of archetype would probably need a Meowth. No, but he has a Fez, which he could dig for. Runaway draw. I'm getting a little bit concerned now. Pokepad, he's trying to thin that deck as much as possible. There is a world he whiffs it, but... I don't know. We just gotta hope he whiffs. Benching Dunsparce, benching another one. Come on, whiff. Do it for Joe. Whiff. That's a whiff, that's game. There's the burn and the poison. He's going to bring up the Dragonite. Unfortunately for you, my friend, I do have a boss, and your Salazzle's getting it, is all I'll say. Well, there's the heal of the burn, but that doesn't matter because we have game with boss. So all we do is we boss this annoying Salazzle, and we nuke it in the face with some drills. Eat some DeWalt, is all I'll say. I'm glad we won that, and of course it's our last prize card, but yeah. That was really close, way too close for comfort. The fact that Salazzle is so dangerous, plus the fact that, you know, it can go into something so bulky like a Dragonite, that's quite crafty, I'll give you that. I do like that archetype that he's built there. So, I ate the internet, you actually ate up Salazzle, that was pretty good. I did like that. But unfortunately, I did have the boss for game, and you didn't play around the Dianails for 50. Well, not the Dianails for 50, the Dig Claws for 50. But yeah, let's go to the next game. And welcome back. That was a really close game there against Salazzle with Dragonite. It's quite clever, I'll give it that, but the thing is with Salazzle, it usually wants to go into a wall Pokemon. It doesn't want to go into a Mega, so I can see the reasoning for, you know, the archetype that he's built, but at the same time, you know, Salazzle tends to want to go into a wall like Crustle, Sylveon, Cornerstone, sometimes Petrel to do a bit more poison damage, you know, that sort of thing. I do have a deck list of Salazzle in, you know, that I've made in my spare time, but it's not something I've really like focused on. You know, I've tested it and it's pretty okay, but it's not something I've been really working on. But I do think the Dunsparce is a pretty clever way to play it. Ooh, Mega Sharpedo. That's an interesting one. We've not seen that for a while, that's for sure. But hey, we could go Transceiver for Trolley, assuming it ain't prized. We'll do a proper prize check this time. Don't worry about that. So let's go for a Transceiver, grab ourselves a Petrel. Please don't be prized. It is not prized. Excellent. Is my red card prized? No. So that's the main thing I need to be bothered about. So let's go for a Petrel. We'll grab ourselves the Trolley. So we'll go Precious Trolley, go Bomb, 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 Bomp, and we'll just go Bomp, but he's probably going to get a turn 2 shot. But then no, he can't get turn 2 Sharpedo. So yeah, getting Drilburs down is fine. We'll just go Magnetic to the Genesect and pass. Because now we have free retreat, which is pretty good. We don't need to use Air Balloon on it. But yeah, the Hilda was definitely a bad choice, but like, I wasn't to know. So, you know, if he brings this up into the active, I will be more than appreciative, but, you know, I should have finned with Genesect thinking about it just then, so someone's probably going to leave it in the comments, but yeah, I probably should have finned with Genesect there, but to be honest, we're going to go Genesect, well, we're going to go Lillie, then Genesect, so we have a lot going here. It doesn't particularly matter because like, we will draw into evolutions anyway, so it's not a major deal, but realistically I should have thinned with a Genesect, but don't worry about it, it's fine. So Mega Sharpedo is not a huge problem for us because it doesn't really scale in damage very well. It does maximum of 270. He's going into it now. That's bloody brave. I really don't advise that, but it's your deck, my friend, not mine. That is probably a huge misplay in my opinion, but that's my take. So we'll attach to the Drilbur. We will then Metallic Signal, grab double Metang, because then we're going to go Bomp, Bomp, and Bomp. Hopefully we hit something good. There's an Excadrill, lovely jubbly. So let's go for Metal Maker. That's fine. Then we'll go Metal Maker again. Get 2. Is that enough? Have we turn attached? I think we have. Hold on. Have we turn attached? We have. Okay. As dumb as it is, I might attack with Genesect, but then again, no, that's kind of daft. I think I'll just go in the Excadrill, but mill some cards. But then again, he's just going to hit me for 310, so that's probably not a good idea. What I can do is I can give him the spare Drilbur. That's fine. I can give him the spare Drilbur. I'm not bothered about that. See, maybe that missequence with a Genesect costs us there. I don't know. There's a Darkrai. That's a problem. The Darkrai is definitely an issue here. Purely because of Abyss Eye. Lissie's Appeal. Okay, so he can knock out the Genesect. You can actually draw 2 if he wants. He can go for Greedy Fang. Draw 2 cards, and he is going to do exactly that. Fair play. We can at least punish the Sharpedo at the very least, so that's something. But yeah, that miss sequence might have actually cost us the knockout there, but you know, that's something to reflect upon, I guess. Alright, let's see what we can do. There's a Metang off the top. Beautiful. There's an Excadrill in hand. There's a turn attachment. I'm gonna Air Balloon DX. No, it doesn't really matter, because we only need game on Darkrai, so we can go Petrel for a boss. I'll actually thin with the Metangs as well. Try and set up that second Drilbur. Because he has no way to accelerate energy as far as I'm concerned. If he's playing like Janine, then, you know, we have something to worry about. But for now, I'm not really worried. And yeah, we'll just maximum drilling and take out the Sharpedo. If he doesn't take out the Excadrill in this turn, we have game on on the Darkrai, because he knows we grabbed a boss off the Petrel. So he needs to hand disrupt me this turn. He has to. There's no sugarcoating it. There's a... what was it? Shadowy? Don't really care about that. Dangerous Laser. Not a card I thought I'd see in this day and age, but I mean, it works with Darkrai. So for those that don't know what this does, because I've never done a video on this card, your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned and confused. So essentially, he's praying I whiff 3 energy on the Excadrill, is what he's praying for. And also an Excadrill. I need an Excadrill. But even then, I can just go and find, you know, I can potentially... oh, never mind, he's got a red card. Okay, that's not too bad. I can actually grab Genesect here. I can grab back Genesect and go for the Metagross knockout on this Meowth, so that's not a problem. I can do that. Let's see what we got then. There's Hilda, which is useless, so we will go Night Stretcher back the Genesect. So I'm not going to retreat the Excadrill yet, because I can't really afford to. So a Metallic Signal. Grab back these two. So I think I attack with Metagross this turn. I think that's my line here. So we'll do that. So we'll Metal Maker. We're going to need 4, so now we have it, so that's good. Because obviously we have the Air Balloon on the Excadrill, so that can retreat itself. So we'll do that. We'll retreat into the Metang. Evolve to Metagross. And I will Lillie, so that way we can get some fresh cards. Okay, that's not bad at all. I'm not going to play the Recycler just yet, because we're going to have to discard this energy to knock out this this Meowth. But yeah, we will discard 3 off the Metallic Hammer and knock out the Meowth. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. And there's a boss for game. Assuming he doesn't play double red card. And here comes the big bad Darkrai, which I am not afraid of. You'd think how beautiful this card is, like you would be afraid of it, you know, with the massive eye and everything. But who realistically is scared of a Darkrai, like Mega Darkrai? I'm not. You know, he can go 220 here if he gets, you know, Toxin play. But I don't need a lot of resources to get Excadrill going for games, so I'm not particularly bothered here. There's another... so he's got enough to Dusk Raid at the very least, but... you know, unless he doesn't have a red card, we should have game here. And yeah, Dusk Raid, we should have easily game here. So, of course, we have to Energy Recycler to try and guarantee it, but, you know, we should have game here. There's no way we whiff. I mean, there's a world in which we do, which is why we're playing the Recycler first, and not BMing my opponent. I only need 1, because I can attach for turn. Okay, we actually whiffed that one. And to be fair, I could just boss Carvana anyway, but yeah, there we go. I want to knock out the Darkrai, because I hate Darkrai. It's a terrible card. There we go. Knockout on the Darkrai. That's 3 prize cards, even though we only need 1. I could have just bossed the Carvana, but, well, it's fine. I wanted to knock out the Darkrai, because Darkrai's terrible. It's a card. But yeah, that's a win there against Mega Darkrai with Mega Sharpedo. Very interesting combination of cards, but I suppose Darkrai does help with Sharpedo's like lack of damage. Because obviously they, you know, it's Darkrai, well, you know, Sharpedo caps at 270. So Darkrai can help fix that by just knocking out any opponent's Pokemon, I guess. And there's a level 80, nice. So we'll quickly redeem that. But yeah, that is Mega Excadrill. I'm pretty impressed with how this deck did. You know, we definitely did do a couple of like Genesect mis-sequencing, but you know, I tend to do that with Metang box decks anyway. So, what did I think to the deck? This deck's actually pretty good. You know, I can definitely see the hype around it. It's got the ability to do quite a lot. Obviously, as I said, the Hilda is not advisable because you know we kept drawing into the bloody one-on magnetic energy anyway. But I mainly just played it so I had an out to it. But obviously, in the grand scheme of things, I would recommend at least 2 copies of Team Rocket's Factory. And then obviously maybe a chorus or 2 so you can find those magnetic metal energies. Because they can be useful, you know. They're not going to obviously stop, you know, things like your Beltol. But that's why we're playing the Kiirans. The Kiirans help with that. And, you know, Genesect, if they decide to trap Genesect, can attack, and Genesect is a pretty good attacker anyway. So, you know, it's nice to have. In terms of what I've really changed, other than obviously the stadium and obviously the Hilda being cut, not really a lot. Like, there's not really any other metal attackers that I would want to play. I would probably consider that Cramorant, though, that I mentioned at the start of the video. But other than that, really, there's not really much to talk about with this deck. It's pretty good. What can I say? Not a lot really needs to change. But anyway, we'll leave you to it for today. And, well, I'm glad you enjoyed seeing Mega Excadrill in action. And, strangely enough, Salazzle EX, because I was actually quite excited to meet that. Anywho, I'll leave you to it for today, and I'll see you next time.